kinds of people we're looking at here. Two different situations. If we both walked onto a plane, I would be the pilot. You would be a passenger. I am an innovator. You are an imitator. I'm a leader. You are a follower. I am a winner, and all of you are losers.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Exit stage left, exit stage right. There is no place to run. All the fuses in the exit side have been burned out.
Now I'm the one doing the challenging.
And starting this moment from now, from this moment on, this will be the moment, starting now, of the genesis of
the Professors of Wrestling.
And we're here to rock it.
Rock it. Let me fix the chair so it doesn't squeak as much.
Gotcha.
There we go. We're here.
We're here. What's up, Dave?
Not much. I'm looking in October. It's gonna be busy.
It's a busy month.
We are the Professors of Wrestling. I'm Dave.
And I'm Dorrian. And we want to be Taco Bell famous, so we need you to help us by subscribing to our YouTube page, as we are trying to bring you more different content, different types of things that you don't normally see on wrestling podcasts, so that you're more entertained. Like us on Facebook. Let us know what you think and provide us with feedback and suggestions. We're always open, don't you think?
I think so. We are the authorities, or not authorities. Maybe that's a bit strong. I don't want to come on too strong, but we are the helpers of South Georgia, North Florida wrestling.
Right.
Independent wrestling.
Independent.
Right on. And this week we are sponsored again. I don't know why I say this week because we do it every other week.
This month, or this episode. Let's just say this episode. Right.
We're sponsored by Ben Owens Music, your place in Valdosta or surrounding areas to come and check out any type of musical supplies, stringed and or otherwise. Also, it's a Yamaha and Marshall dealership. Check it out. They're located in 1803 Plum Street in lovely, we say Remerton, but people don't know where Remerton is at really unless you go to the college. But it's a big pink house on Plum Street. You can't miss it. Come in, check stuff out, try things out. Support local, buy local. That's our motto here.
Sounds good to me.
I think that's the plug.
That's the plug. We had one botch take that just seemed to roll over for about 2 episodes.
Yes.
So this one goes out to Brother Azrael, as we believe that in a promo a while back that he was talking about us, but it wasn't us. It was just some deep dive into Facebook of where someone who was just coming back to the scene said his match was lackluster. So we apologize for thinking that was us, and that's about that.
I had your back on that.
Right, I appreciate it.
We'll take the bullet when we're wrong, and maybe it's a bit egotistical to think everything's about us, but it should be.
Right.
It should be. But anyway, we joke. You want to move on to news?
Our wrestling calendar is stacked for October, as we start with Solid Rock Championship Wrestling, October 19th, at Thomas County Middle School for the anti-bullying event. You and I will be doing a pre-show.
Yes. Well, Ashley invited us to part of that one, so I'm pretty excited about it. And it's a good theme to have.
And I'm definitely excited for that one. If you can't make it, there is Destiny Combat Championship Wrestling on October 19th, unfinished business at the Baker County Fairground in McClinney, Florida.
Yes, we will not be able to make that one.
But you all should go if you can't make the anti-bullying event.
Yes. Sunbelt is coming back with a vengeance in November, so we will not be anything. Is the Lean Ox Festival in October?
October 16th?
Okay, I don't know why I numbered it that way. Anyway, so I already screwed up. I thought I was on the ball with this. October 16th, the Lean Ox Festival in Lenexa, Georgia. 1 p.m. is the start time. Free admission. Be there. I know we're going to be there for that.
October 16th? Probably so.
Yeah, well, there's no problem. I'm going to be there. I'm hoping you'll be with me.
What day is that? Yeah.
It's a Saturday.
Saturday?
Yes.
I should be there.
Man, you're out of it today, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right, so, and then November 9th at Pelham Middle School, it is a benefit for Brooke and Pelham, Georgia. Be there, support that. Sunbelt does a lot of great fundraisers and is really helpful in the community, so go check them out. Spinebusters coming back. We got a lot to say about Spinebuster and everything that's happened there with the Autumn Anarchy show. Is October 23rd at Mathis Auditorium. Remember, save Mathis Auditorium. And then lastly, SWA will be at Baker County High School in Newton, Georgia, because Pavo is doing the haunted house at the Peacock Center all of October, and we'll be back November 16th at the Peacock Center in lovely Pavo.
Yeah. Spinebuster Wrestling Academy is always looking for men and women that want to be the next superstar of the ring, whether it be as a wrestler, referee, manager, valet, or etc. Hit them up at 229-300-5729 and let them make your dream come true.
So, this is exciting news here.
I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. I was, Order 66 Duke Silver. Jesus, I need to start that over again. Order 66 Duke Silver is ranked number 1 in the Referee of the Year category for 2019. I heard he's nominated again for September, so check out the Kings and Queens of Professional Wrestling so you can go vote. Let's keep Duke up there at the number 1 spot. That's pretty exciting. And then you want to talk about the last bit of news in there?
There's a new promotion in the works in South Georgia, and we're pretty excited for it. It's Rochester Adrenaline Wrestling. They're based out of Douglas, Georgia, and they'll be debuting in August 2020.
But they're looking to do a show after the New Year, so probably sometime in the spring or winter, late winter type thing. And we've been talking with James Adams, the promoter, the guy putting that together. We're going to sit down and do an interview with them and kind of pick his brain why would he go the process of creating a new promotion, because there's a lot of work into that, and why does he want to do that also? It's a ton of work, but we're excited and we can't wait to see what happens with that, and the more the better. There's a lot of great talent in this area, and if they're going to bring it up and add to it, I think we're both for it.
Yeah. Some audience takes. This one comes from Sam Skaggs. What are we hoping to see in the unsanctioned match between Jaytwo Strong and Mako for the Spartan title?
Hey, that's a good question, and I think if we get into that now, we're going to be jumping the gun because we got a ton to talk about with Spinebusters.
Yeah, but don't worry, Sam, we will answer it.
We don't say we're not ignoring the people's suggestions.
Right.
On the social media.
Something to chew on. Who is your favorite tag team? Now, this one I put up, and once I got back and I started seeing the messages, you could go either way with this. There's all time, there's right now, there's professional, there's indie. So what I'm thinking, who is your favorite indie tag team of all time?
Well, what's yours right now?
Mine right now, I'd have to go with the Renegades.
Renegades?
Yeah.
What about the Renegades?
How they work together. I mean, I think once they go back and take on Trash Force, they'll definitely be champions again.
I'm gonna go here BTB.
BTB.
As we've got to see them more and more in the past several months. They've grown. Remember seeing those two cats as individuals,
right?
And coming together. It was just I'm interested to see kind of where they're going to go and what direction they're going to take.
Right.
So it's pretty plain and simple on that. And then this next one, when we car talk, we were talking about farm systems, for a better lack of a term, and talents, because we've seen a lot of talent. We've seen a lot of talent come. We've seen a lot of talent go. So I totally, when we were having that conversation, where was that all coming from when we were discussing that? When you brought that up?
I was thinking in the sense of how do you bring up new wrestlers in the sense so you don't have to see the same match for 5 months straight. So how do you give them the challenge to see how well they are, how they're improving, if there's anything like that. Also, what is the new talent in South Georgia, North Florida? Where are they pulling it from?
Yeah.
Because it'd be interesting to see, let's take the Spinebuster Wrestling Academy and see who's wrestling in there and see how do they prepare before they're even ready enough to actually get into a promotion.
Yeah.
How long does that take?
I have no idea. I've never gone through.
I mean, yeah, me either. I was just wondering, maybe somebody will answer us and see how that goes.
Just help educate us.
Right.
On what's the point you become from. I mean, obviously. I mean, I've heard on some podcasts people like, I never trained at all. I just got kind of thrown in the ring. I've heard those stories into people who go through training or schooling of some sort of education. And after a month, they get thrown in the ring. You know, I mean, I think it's different depending on the promotion standards.
All right.
And what they want to do. And then there's some people, I would imagine there's some people, like, do some people have an exception where they're just naturally talented in the ring and they pick stuff up on faster than maybe slow learners who you're afraid to put in the ring because you don't want to hurt anybody.
Right.
So I wonder, or is it just, with some people, is it going to be universally whether you've been doing this a month and you're naturally talented, or 2 months, you've got to wait this requisite amount of time?
I would say, I mean, if promotions, let us know, how are you judging talent? How often do you scout talent? Because that'd be a thing. Are they just going out to other promotions and looking at people and saying, hey, I run this promotion, how about you come back?
Yeah. I think it's hard to. I think a lot of people, I'm going to make a guess here, is people join the schools because they have a passion for it, right? They watch wrestling as a kid and they just want to do it, so you go out and you seek it out. I don't know how many people get kind of plucked from the stands, kind of like, that type of thing, but you never know. I was thinking about this morning as I was prepping everything for the show. What do you like to see a character grow? A talent grow with their character? Meaning, like, we've talked about, like, the Scorcher has had this, he went from the Dragon to the Scorcher. And we see, I don't know, there was maybe like 3-4 months we didn't see the Scorcher.
Right.
And then we're like, well, what's going on? What's going on? And then we showed up and boom, he's no longer the Dragon. He's the Scorcher. It's like, there's like a light switch that switched off on him. And
then people are now saying, people are rooting for him. People don't know where he fits in the show. Is he a heel? Is he a face?
Yeah.
Where does he stand?
I think, like, the first time we saw him in a long time was when he was going against Mike Payne, and we were both kind of head scratching on that because Mike Payne
is Mike Payne.
And we had him in the box of the Dragon.
Right.
And surprisingly, we were both pleasantly surprised. Like,
the Scorcher's a whole nother beast.
Yeah. So what are things you look for in character growth?
I'd definitely say when we first see someone or a new wrestler, there's a lot of botched moves.
Yeah.
So you may see them slip on the rope, not be able to get in, or they have to repeat their finishing move a couple of times. So I guess growth in skill set as far as moves.
Right.
And then I guess you also start to see how they interact in the crowd. There's some when they first get here who can't even talk on a promo or talk on a mic.
Yeah.
And then after you start seeing them and getting them more comfortable with the people that they're going out there to talk to, they're really talented. What about you?
I think I'm always more forgiving on the moves, particularly young talent, because you learn through repetition. And you got to go through it. And you're still trying to figure out what type of wrestler you are. I always compare it back to stand-up comedy. Is, when you start out, you imitate those that you or emulate those that you looked up to. Big Stephen Wright fan, so early on I was very monotone and very much a terrible Stephen Wright knockoff. Until you kind of discover your own voice and what you do well and kind of figure out the moves and you're trying to figure out your signature move. So I'm just always more forgiving on that. I want to see growth in that area. Because you can tell those people who are working versus who just, okay, I'm just going to come in and wrestle and then go home and not practice at all. And character growth, I think, adds to the whole package. You want to see a definite, and I think this comes with experience, see that develop, and then be able to carry a storyline and make me as an audience member care in some form or fashion, either hate on them or love on them in either way. And I want give me a reason to really boo you or cheer you, and be able to kind of develop that. And I think, regardless of the audience size, because each audience is going to be a little bit different, the problem, you can be really comfortable in a particular room, in front of a particular audience for whatever reason. That can create some bad habits because that may not necessarily work
in another place. Or let's say, like when we were in Pavo recently, it was just dead. Right.
And you go to you've got to have a lot of bag of tricks to pull an audience into that match.
And I mean, you gotta talk about their teeth. You gotta talk about their family.
You gotta have multiple things and not be hack and repeat the same tropes over and over again on that. But I just want to see, and I wanted to see a definite, this is who you are. I think when we look at the Scorcher, he's got the whole Hawaiian thing down. Before with the dragon, you're like, where is he going with this?
Right.
So that's what I was kind of thinking with that. We got called out
by AMH.
Particularly, I think all of them at certain points, but particularly Preston Paradise.
The Platinum Playboy.
Yes.
That sounds like, so what is he, like the little bunny that's on the front of Playboys?
I have no idea. Platinum is not the grade of material that I would rate him at personally.
Bronze?
Not even bronze.
I don't know.
Like tin or aluminum?
Probably. I mean, he started listing all these resumes type deals.
Right.
And if you ever Google Preston Paradise or his name through it, you don't see, he never won a state championship, because you'll look at his high school and his high school.
Wait. We need to set this up a little bit better, because not everybody was at this. We got called out. I posted up some video clips on it. We'll post up the full one on the Facebook. But we got called out saying we have not done our homework. And this is on top of asterisk. We've been getting messages from other AMH members, particularly Mako, saying, check our resume. And so we have been checking their resume. So do your homework. We did our homework.
We checked the big boss, and the big boss really isn't the big boss.
No.
We look at the high school. I went from 96 all the way down to 90. Maybe he was a fifth-year senior.
I mean, who knows?
So I checked that. That wasn't true. Checked the high school that he said Preston Paradise says he went to. They've never been in the top 5 of wrestling in the state of Georgia. I then checked under Preston Paradise to see all the belts he's won. It wasn't that high. He still had a few problems.
Yeah.
But who knows? You know what I want to really see between Preston Paradise? Can he win in a singles match?
Okay. I want to add on to that. Where I've been, check your resume, we have seen this multiple promotions.
Right.
Multiple times. The only way they can win, outside interference, or some use of a outside object of some sort, a chair.
Right.
Or pick your poison, a broom.
Poor sweeper.
Within that, so when we check your resume and compare that to that of Proc the Croc, let's compare that to the new Scorcher.
Right.
We've not seen any of those actions taken out, brought upon an opponents. And within it, our overall arching picture right there, we've done our homework. And I think what really, our words sting, because we're just looking at the facts as they lay before us.
Right.
Whether that's his resume and his so-called wrestling accomplishments.
There's no full list of all that, but who knows?
I mean, we did our homework, we checked, and what was said and what reality are seemed to be not lining up for obvious, for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
And then what we see goes on in the ring, the multiple attacks on other wrestlers, the personal attacks on us.
Only one out of AMH that's actually successful would be Mako.
Yeah, we've seen him win
He's
cleanly a couple of times, but more time lately it's been ambushes and...
Right. He's the only one that can hold a belt for a long period of time.
Right.
The Street Fighter, David Ali, can't really hold one for longer than a month.
It seems like it. Do you know where you question their math skills?
Yes.
Like how long a year is?
True. I mean, 365, just to let you know.
Yes, is a Gregorian calendar year in this day and age. But we did our homework, AMH.
And your resume is not looking so good, so maybe you need to beef that up.
Or just be honest.
Because we checked your references and they weren't where they said they were.
And learn some new burns.
True.
And some burns.
I'm not a fan of being called a boy.
I could see why. That has a bit of historical issues with it.
So, I mean, it's all good in the good old Valdese area.
I do have to say we were told we have the face for podcasters, which may be true, but AMH has the wardrobe of homelessness. You know what
Right, I mean...
within that. But more about them later on. Let's get into what's going on with some of the promotions in the region, in the South Georgia, North Florida. And let's kick it off with Sunbelt. You want to take that one?
Sunbelt, November 9th, Pelham Middle School in Pelham, Georgia. Pelham is a fundraiser to help Brooke Mascaro.
I don't know. That's a complicated last name.
Is a high school student diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. They are raising money to help her treatments. Help her. It'll be the Storm versus John Davis. That's one of the matches that
is. I was told this morning when I was doing that is the marquee match. That is the main event.
And anytime you get to see the Storm, you should take advantage of that one.
Yes.
So, if you can, please make sure you show up, show your support, and let's make sure that we can help Brooke out with her treatments. We then have the Lean Ox Festival.
I'm double checking because I put
November 16th on this one.
And in October, I'm gonna fact check my own stuff right now as we're looking into it. So because you talk about it while I look that up.
You got it. On the bill, we have Mike Payne. He's gonna title defense. Frank Vowdy, Bryce Canyon. Oh man, that Bryce keeps getting me. Kings of Mayhem. They'll be doing a title defense, and then we have the greatest ref duo on the independent scene, Order 66, is scheduled to be there. There's more matches to announce a little bit later, but let's hope that other shows are in the works. And then finally, we have to bring up something from the last time we went to Sunbelt.
It's November 16th.
November 16th.
All right.
Who is El Chapo?
I know, we saw him in Nashville.
Right.
One, we didn't even see him go into the ring. I don't think anybody did.
That was pure skill. I feel like he dug a hole.
He's like a ninja. That's like...
Right.
And then, who is he? Why is this person associating themselves with El Nino, particularly?
Right. And how will El Nino react after losing that match as well?
Yes. So maybe we'll have more answers on November 16th. Not October.
November.
Jeez.
Broken Bones Championship Wrestling.
Yes.
They are scheduled to have a championship belt on the line at the next show.
And they announced it at that, but I have not been able to find any information when the next show is going to be.
So as we find out, we'll make sure to keep you updated, and hopefully we'll get to see you there if it's on a good day.
Yes.
Spinebuster, we're there.
Autumn Anarchy lived up to its name.
It was a punch of anarchy to add that. Started off, as we talked about, AMH calling us out. AMH saying that they're going to take over all the belts at that night. I guess AMH is not good at math because they're still one belt short. Cassius Mack was a little bit scared to start off against Hold My Beer Hansen, so he sent out his old partner again, Brother Azrael, to face Hold My Beer Hansen. Now we started thinking about Hold My Beer and where he's going. This is his first match after losing the belt. And how is he going to be able to make sure that he bounces back in it? Brother Azrael versus Hold My Beer Hansen was one of those that we've seen at some point in some different fashions, to where Hold My Beer knew what he was getting into.
Yeah.
I mean, you start to think about how Hold My Beer has grown over the period of time that he's been wrestling.
Yeah.
And you have to say that he's scheduled for a big win, in my opinion. What about you?
I think, and getting kind of into the notes on here, is what's Cassius Mack going to do to respond to this thing? He just seems to get pouty and upset.
He'll probably cut another promo outside of Hold My Beer's house.
Yeah, stalking him, which is creepy. He's creeping on him.
Right. Or, I mean, I don't know. I think at some point Cassius Mack has to admit that he's a little bit scared.
Yeah.
And that maybe he knows that if he faces Hold My Beer Hansen again, he'll lose. And that'll probably be his last title.
It could be. And what the relationship between him and Brother Azrael? It's like an old married couple who just should get divorced.
True. I mean, they're back at it again after trying for I guess this is their second go around.
It's got to be more than that.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
All right.
It's cheaper to keep them.
Yeah, cheaper to. But I mean,
it's not working out for as far as what Cassius Mack would need in someone who's.
Particularly with somebody with the amount of experience Cassius Mack, you think he would take Brother Azrael under his wings,
Help him with some W's,
mentor him, get him going, and then, at that point the relationship needs in, but step up. Cassius Mack, quit complaining about how no one respects you, no one likes you. I'm from Title Town.
Man.
So you have your title.
For another month or another few weeks.
act like you've been there before. If you're claiming Titletown as your moniker, act like you've been there before, and help out Brother Azrael. We'd like to see something from Brother Azrael.
We would. I mean, we would. It'd be interesting to see who he faces at Havoc.
Yeah.
See if he actually if he can pull out a win.
Yeah.
It'd be something.
See him quit pouting.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Because I don't know. It's not his area of expertise when it comes to winning.
No.
Next, we move on to Proc versus Josh Wolverton.
Yes, a member of the DB1C. I don't know what that means. I just know that's the tag team name. It could be a lot of things. It's an acronym of some sort. But in that, Proc has been on a win streak lately, starting to get back those winning ways against Josh Wolverton, who we get the croc roll early on.
Yeah.
Always a crowd pleaser. And he seems real motivated. Something like there's been a fire lit under him. That time away was maybe a good thing to kind of rethink and reframe what he wants to do in the ring. How far does he want to take it? And taking it more seriously within there from my point of view. And Josh was your typical scaredy cat running, heel. Just didn't know how to respond to that.
I mean, once you step in there with the Proc the Croc, how can you expect someone to really match those level of standards and how it goes? I think we're bouncing back. Especially on my count, I'm bouncing back.
Yeah.
I think I'm 2-2. He just needs to win 8 more and I'm good.
Yeah.
So, way to go, Proc.
And then I think also is when Proc is ever in Valdosta, it's like a hometown crowd for him.
And they cheer. They definitely know how to support him.
Yeah.
Cassius Mack versus the Scorcher.
Yes. For the belt.
The Gladiator champ. No. Yeah, that's right.
It's a Gladiator belt, the 24/7, which he's changing the rules on.
How do you change a rule on a belt?
I don't know. I mean, is there a board that evaluates this and then you take it through the process? I mean, try to get anything changed at a university, there's 500 people that have to vote on it. Is this what happens with the current? Well, we need to talk about the change within that. But Connor Mason just let anything happen.
He doesn't know how to run a good, smooth show, so I guess that's what happened. Didn't happen under Charlie Walker, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Way to go, Shotgun.
Shotgun, we saw with Shotgun Charlie Walker. He got better.
He got better.
And then he's got it with the iPad. And it seems like without Charlie Pad, without his iPad, it seems a little bit lost.
And then, what is it? Yeah, it was a tough one. But back to Cassius Mack and him getting ready to go against the Scorcher. Seemed like a really good match in a sense to where you would think that the Scorcher had a chance.
Yeah. I was rooting for the Scorcher. I think him with the Gladiator belt is it's like a perfect match.
Because he's the kind of person that you would think would defend it 24/7.
Yeah.
The output that you would get from having the Scorcher as your Gladiator champion versus the output that you get from Cassius Mack would be at a higher level. I think Cassius Mack is not getting there, I guess, as a Gladiator champion.
He's not meeting expectations.
Right, because at least with David Ali, you knew every single moment of his life it was defending that championship.
He won it and then lost it and then had to win it back.
Right.
And then finally
just won and then gave it up.
Yeah. So I think what we're saying here is, and I think previously we said, is Cassius Mack needs to pick his game up.
And then we'll start seeing who cheers for him.
Yeah. Yeah, Cassius, win us over. Give us a reason for us to cheer for you. Don't just complain and whine about it. The next match.
Match of the night for me. For me.
I would, yeah.
For me. It is Lexi Gomez versus Catalina Perez. This is the second time these two have faced off in Spinebuster. Mm-hmm. A rematch of sorts. You'll start to see, no spoiler alert, that in Havoc, it'll be for the women's championship belt. Lexi Gomez, sponsored by Miss Caitlin.
Yes.
Catalina Perez, new member of AMH, has their...
Sponsored by.
Yeah, sponsored by, has their back. She's now in their faction. So you start to see Preston Paradise versus Miss Caitlin, who's champion, who will win.
They're trying to monopolize all the belts.
Right.
Well, where does Cash? But they don't have the Gladiator.
They don't have it. So they're losing out on that one.
Yeah.
But Lexi Gomez, we've seen it time and time again. Lexi Gomez enters the ring. The crowd is now behind her, and with the chops that she hands off, it makes it a little bit hard for Catalina Perez in the beginning, to handle those and fight back. And then we start to see as the match progresses, Catalina picks up that pace that is needed on a championship pedigree.
But when it came down to it, AMH came in and disrupted.
As they usually do and then Catalina had the roll up pin.
I am gonna, with this rematch, I'm gonna be rooting for Lexi.
Right.
But I know it's, this is like they say, it's like you look for the third time around. I think this is gonna be it for whoever. What's gonna happen to him afterwards? It's the rubber match.
Right.
When it comes into it, so it will be interesting.
Put your picks in.
Yeah, and then hopefully Caitlin got all the cake out.
Right, that was crazy. They put her cake in her face?
Yeah.
I was like, good effort in just getting that out.
Yeah.
And everyone cleaning the ring up quick.
We thank the sweeper for coming in.
Yeah.
On that. After that, we go a 3-way
title defense.
Logan Creed, the monster.
Right. Versus Ashton Starr and the Street Fighter David Ali.
That match was all over the place.
It was at one point to where you couldn't see it because
it was out. Because it was in a theater portion, so they have the ring up on the stage.
And then it even got off the stage at one point.
Yeah, I just posted up today some of what we saw. You would see the silhouettes of everybody, which was kind of cool.
Right. It was. We're not hating. But, man, I really thought Logan Creed was going to be a champion longer than 2 months or a month.
this is the deal. David Ali is an opportunist. As much as we love hating on him, he's an opportunist.
He knew he couldn't beat Johnny Maverick, so he had to wait.
Yeah. And also letting Ashton Starr and Logan Creed beat each other down. And then when you saw who he pinned, it wasn't even Logan Creed. It was somebody more in his own weight class. And so when he pinned Ashton Starr, he was out of there quick. It just seemed like, and he let me just rephrase that. He was as far away from Logan Creed as possible, and as soon as possible with that. So, how long will David Ali hold this title?
I give him 3 months.
Yeah.
He'll make it through the fall semester.
Okay. Well, Logan Creed's gonna be back for the next one, which is the Havoc in there. So interested to see where that storyline goes.
Me too.
Tonight, I thought the last match was for the Spinebuster Tag Team Championship.
It was.
BTB
versus Preston Paradise and Mako.
America's Most Hated Tag Team.
AMH. Man, BTB took...
It was a ladders match.
Yes, I saw. What is it? Connor Mason got speared through twice. Mako got thrown off a ladder.
Yeah.
Preston Paradise
got table slammed by Mike Rowe. It was a leap from the top rope out into the audience. We saw the impact from everything. We didn't see the actual hit on that, but
bloodied old Preston Paradise. I mean, granted, at the end of this match, you start to think AMH won. And
unfortunately.
And it wasn't as if they cheated in this case, because it was a non-DQ, that table, ladders, and chairs. So they came out, but I think the post video is what threw me off, where Mako's like, he's a heavyweight tag team champion. And I was like, how are you a heavyweight tag team champion when you went against Mike Rowe, when you went against the BTB, who aren't heavyweights?
The cruiserweights.
Right. So, man, that resume checking just keeps going down, down, down.
Hyperbole.
Right.
Is how I would tag it.
So if you see the Preston Paradise and Mako, be sure to congratulate them from the Professors of Wrestling.
Congratulations, you won it fair and square.
Right.
We'll give you that.
Let's see how long you last.
And which brings us to down here some issues we need to talk about. What's coming up with Halloween Havoc there?
Right.
We talked about Brother Azrael saying he needs to get some W's.
Yes.
I think he needs a confidence builder, and that will take him into where he needs to be in a better place in his mind. And that we know Cassius Mack has been avoiding Hold My Beer since he won that title.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give it up anytime soon.
Questions that will need to be addressed. Will BTB be at Halloween Havoc? We don't know. We haven't seen the card yet. The only thing we know for sure is going to be Lexi Gomez and Catalina Perez.
Excited for it.
On the flyer, on the poster, we see Logan Creed. So what is his role going to be?
Hopefully, yeah.
Will Ashton Starr be with them?
In a tag team.
That would be good. And will the Scorcher be back? Love to see him involved more with Spinebuster and see him grow as a wrestler. But okay, Sam, this is where we're going to address your question here.
Right.
Jaytwo Strong, surprise return. We totally got
bamboozled
because he said it was February?
Right. That he would be back. But nope, he will be back at Havoc. He definitely, out of nowhere, all the lights went out, and in the middle of the ring, all you see is Jaytwo Strong, ready to go. It'll be interesting to see that. I don't think Mako's going to win. So that's something that I'm looking forward to, Mako losing.
I got to write this down too. Okay. Remember Johnny Maverick.
Johnny Maverick. Okay.
Okay.
I think with Jaytwo Strong versus Mako, we're going to see something that we've been waiting for, what is it now, 3 months?
It's been a while. It's been a spell, as they say down south.
Right. So we'll see how that goes. I got my money's on Jaytwo Strong because he has the force of the locker room behind him, and AMH just has AMH.
Well, he came out. It took all the locker room to hold him back. He's got a score to settle.
Right.
You saw the promo Mako cut.
And they're cutting some really good promos nowadays, so I'll give him that.
He's not remorseful.
Nope.
He's glad he did it. I think he's glad he did it because his competition, he doesn't have to deal with it. He knows can beat him. So it's unsanctioned. It's going to be, I don't know. The only concern I have is Jaytwo Strong comes in too strong.
And gets too injured.
And then tuckers himself out because he's been out. He hasn't been training. So his cardio is not going to be that good.
How can he keep up with...
So is he going to rope-a-dope himself? And then, as much as his pain, the AMH are opportunists.
If they see a weakness in you...
They are the coyotes of Spinebuster, so they will take that opportunity and pounce on it and take advantage of it. So I think Jaytwo Strong's got to be in there smart, and it has to be not as emotional in the ring, and come in there with a strategy, not let his emotions get the best of him in order to win this bout. And I would like to see Proc the Croc in his corner. A lumberjack match would be really cool. You know, that is my favorite type of match.
I hope someone does give you a lumberjack match, Dave.
I would love to see a lumberjack match.
Like, I'm trying. So any promotion that can make this happen for Dave.
It makes me smile on there. So I think that I'm looking for like Jaytwo Strong to whoop some ass.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely possible.
And I don't want Jaytwo Strong. I hope he's not coming back too early and re-injure himself.
And I hope that AMH doesn't do anything crazy enough to make that happen.
Yes. Which brings us to, does AMH really have a stranglehold on Spinebuster Championship Wrestling right now? They seem to be getting, in all fairness, as much hard times as we give AMH. They're like slow and steady, and maybe they've been creeping. Right. We haven't been paying attention to that. They've been slowly gathering belts through by hook or by crook. And now all they have is like the women's.
And then the Gladiator.
And the Gladiator.
And then, once that happens, you got to wonder, will they even need Conor Mason anymore?
I don't know.
Is he only there so that they can get the belts?
That is a good question, but Johnny Maverick,
our wonderful ex-champion, former champion.
Now, it was like a coup d'etat.
Right.
Self-proclaimed
GM of Spinebuster.
Bringing some cojones back to that position.
Something that you haven't seen since Mac Davis was around.
Oh, man, that's a throwback.
Somebody who could definitely give Preston a run for his money.
Most definitely. Coming back. He's the one who put together this unsanctioned match, because we didn't mention Jaytwo Strong has not medically been cleared yet. So I wonder what type of waivers
he's having to sign just for this.
Yeah, on there. So with Johnny Maverick coming in, does this help loosen that stranglehold?
I would think so. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the wrestlers respect Johnny Maverick, and they know that his position as a wrestler, he could take down most likely anyone who gets in his way.
So we will see October 23rd. Havoc is occurring at Mathis Auditorium, so we'll have a lot of questions answered, and we'll probably be left with a lot of other questions. But hats off to Spinebusters. The last two shows have just been top shelf.
They have.
We are moving on to SWA Gridiron. That was the same day as the Georgia
Notre Dame game.
So it was an interesting audience. It was a different feel.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. So we'll just jump right into it. The Soviet Assassin went against Wheezy. Is it Scott Wheezy? What'd you say?
Wheezy.
Wheezy.
My bad, let me get my idea.
Yeah, he's doing an inhaler.
Yeah.
But was really no challenge to the Soviet Assassin and Mayor Wrestle.
Definitely, Mayor Wrestle had his wrestlers back in the sense that even when Wheezy tried to cheat, it didn't even work out for him. One of the things that we have to say is this was Ref David's
return.
So we were very excited to see him back in the ring this night. The crowd was definitely happy to have him back.
Yeah.
Saw a standing ovation of sorts. So welcome back, Ref. And
It's always good to see somebody put together throw like a serious health scare like that.
right. But the Soviet Assassin handled business, and Wheezy stood no match in it. Stood no chance.
No. Which moved to the Madam of Mischief, Roxy Rouge, versus replacement, last minute replacement for Kylene.
Yes.
The baddest black belt, how do you pronounce that? Janai Kai?
Yeah, let's go with that. Janai Kai.
Who was very impressive.
Yeah, I almost thought she was taking it too easy on Roxy at one point. Because, I mean, Roxy really had to fight back in this one. It was a challenge that she wasn't used to, I would say, in previous matches. And so this was definitely prepped her up and gave her some motivation in how to improve her style of wrestling.
Most definitely, but she kept the belt with that one after a signature move and then the pin on that one. Which takes us to
Scrotus.
the tag team championship bout between Scrotus, which is Dan Lydon and Scyther,
Versus Task Force.
or as they like to refer to him in Pavo, Trash Force, DMC, and Mikey Spandex.
No Rod Grimes was with them, so you all will be excited to hear that they actually took the chance to defend their own belt on their own.
There was no Kangaroo, excuse me.
No Kangaroo.
No Kangaroo. Botch caught my own right there. No Kangaroo. No anything. Just came out there, and though you have to say Scrotus kind of had their backs against the ropes for about the first quarter of that.
A lot of biting, a lot of weird motion moving from Scyther.
Yeah.
He was on his game. But in the end, when you start to think about it, Task Force is a tag team that's not to be messed with.
It's a well-oiled machine. I'm trying to avoid using a cliche statement, but they always bring their A game. And when the crowd gets in their face, they're not afraid to let them know what's going on and where they stand. So those elements together, thus, why Task Force is still champion. Where are the Renegades?
When will the Biscuit conspiracy end?
Yeah, can we get a response to that, Dax?
Yeah. Please come back. One of these matches that we do have to add in here is Alexander Knight versus Yo-Yo and E?
I think so, something like that.
Alexander Knight definitely coming back for another singles match, and in the past we haven't seen him win those.
He's been on some L's.
Yeah. So to see this match and him go right back into it, prove that at a point, does he really need to hop right back into the Nightmare Syndicate? If he pulled off the win that night, does he need to automatically hurry back and get into a tag team?
Will he be back at DCCW on October 19th? Is a good question, too.
Decisions based by him.
Yes. But I think that was probably one of the top two matches of the evening.
Yes.
It was a good lightweight bout between those. They kept it going. It was well paced, and it's good to see Alexander Knight get a W for a change.
So congratulations. We hope you don't rush right. Well, I hope you don't rush right back in, and we see another singles bout from you.
Most definitely. So then we get to the
AIWF National Championship.
Yes, was held by Punkadelic Vince Lewis, and it was an audience vote And so I'm going to go Preston Veston.
Yeah.
Hoodstar, Dark Rage, and Hoodstar and Preston have been going at it for years. And
Chris Spider.
I looked at you and I said, I called it. That guy pops up
everywhere.
He's like, he should be Chris Cockroach, because that dude, you cannot be squashed. My hat's off to him for the fortitude and the fact he just doesn't give up. I really, truly appreciate that. We've got to move him farther up on the food rating scale.
Maybe he's a 2.
A 2? I think a 3. I think a solid 3.
Okay.
Or a 2.5, right? Like right in the middle.
Something to elevate his game.
Yeah. And then what were your thoughts on the match?
I thought this was something that was tough for Vince in the sense that he had to face two former great champions, in Preston and Dark Rage. And with those two, whenever you expect to see those in the ring, you know they're going to bring that championship pedigree versus him facing, the person last month?
Oh, is this Preston or?
This is Vince.
Okay. I'm trying to think of who that was.
But, I mean, this one definitely showed a good test of his talents and who he could beat and who he could play.
Right.
You almost thought to the end of this when Preston Veston won the match. Why is it that Dark Rage gets the rematch?
He always gets I like Dark Rage. I think he brings a lot to the ring.
But
I'm trying to find out who he fought last time. I gotta look at my notes on here. I'm stalling.
I mean, back to it of Preston Veston versus Dark Rage, and maybe Preston Veston's not believing in Vince Lewis's skill enough to say, hey, you deserve a rematch. Like at the end, they do the generic, I respect your talent, I respect you as a wrestler, but obviously not when you see that Dark Rage is the person that's getting the championships.
Right. I'm looking.
So, when you see...
he fought Alexander Knight the last bout.
And, so Vince Lewis versus Alexander Knight, and we're thinking that wasn't really up to your level of competition. So once we gave you some real competition, we saw that he kind of folded. And that's why Preston Veston is our new champion.
I think, too, he's dealing with health issues, to which he kind of was alluding to towards the end of the night. But better getting ahead of ourselves. The next match was the Technical Alchemist, David Mercury, versus Pavo's favorite heel,
Rod Grimes.
It's a good match.
Yeah. It was definitely a good match in the sense that all night long you had Rod Grimes coming out, getting those fans amped, because we talked about earlier it not being to the crowd level that we're normally used to seeing.
Right.
So it was up to Rod Grimes and the other wrestlers to, once they came out, to up that energy, to make sure that people knew I'm a heel and this is how it's going to go.
And I thought Rod Grimes was going to win this match.
Yes. I was definitely convinced that Rod Grimes would have to maybe carry more than one win, but David Mercury proved to be the better opponent.
Rod Grimes had it won, but then pulled him up.
Multiple times. Well, yeah, the one, because he had him pinned for like maybe 4 or 5 seconds. Mm-hmm. He was like, nope, I'm going to wait.
And so, he was his own worst enemy right there.
So, Rod, we're talking to you.
Yeah.
Either bring out Task Force or bring out the Kangaroo. You don't know how to close.
Yes. Why? I think ego got a hold of him there. He knows how to close. You just got to fight the ego.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our final match for the championship, SWA championship. Punkadelic, the other half of the Punkadelics, James Morrison versus the Outlaw, who put a beat down on him last time they were in Pavo. And so this was supposed to be square in the ring. And Vince was talking about his health issues, how he's working through them. It's difficult, and then was getting attacked by the Outlaw, and that really upset James, to which it just became a street fight.
It was everywhere. And I want to let you know it was not something that looked like it was planned. it looked like something that was pure street. We're gonna knock over chairs, knock over booths, tables, and your
Nachos and sodas were not safe.
babies were not safe.
No.
As a carrier hit the ground. So you had to make sure that part of it was, I mean, it was just a brutal match between two people who obviously did not like each other.
And then come the other day, just raw adrenaline and energy after that beatdown, James Morrison.
You're still your champion.
And I don't know what's going to happen, but he called, attacking his brother really upset him. And then Kyle.
Good old Iron Ref was in the building.
Yes.
And he was the translator for the Outlaw. So we'll have to see where that goes. I mean, next month they'll probably have another match.
So that will be in October 5th, Baker County High School in Newton, Georgia. And then they're back in the Peacock Center November 16th. A lot going on with SWA. DCCW.
Look at that. You got it.
Oh, I think it's just practice.
Good, Jill.
Thank you. October 19th, Unfinished Business, Cheese and Pete's Business at Baker County Fairground in McClenny, Florida. If you go to that, let us know what you think, how it went, all that fun stuff. We are going to be at Thomasville with the anti-bullying event there. That is what's going on with the promotions, everything that's happening. We do have food reviews.
We do. There's new Taco Bell menu choices. I tried twice the toasted cheddar chalupa, and I must say it's a definite go-to, and I hope that it stays. And what about you?
I had the toasted cheddar chalupa one night, and it was just like, I guess I just felt like it's a chalupa I got gription on because it's baked on there.
Right.
It was okay. It's good. But I was impressed with their vegetarian options. All the vegetarian options, good, tasty, and it's probably not the same calories as the stuff with the meat. And who knows how much processing goes into that and how really truly vegetarian or vegan it is. And it's got cheese in it, so it's not. Anyway, but I was pleasantly surprised. It had good flavor and everything, and both visits to the Taco Bell.
Quality, very friendly. Angry people were not there.
No.
And it was a great situation to be in as far as being at Taco Bell.
I think it was, I felt like that wasn't even the same stores we'd been in previously.
Right.
I don't know what happened, but I like what the experience we had there.
Yes.
So to help us become Taco Bell famous, if you could subscribe to the YouTube page, we're working on content to add different content on there, things, start reaching out, making it happen. Like us on the Facebook, get engaged, share your comments, call us out, let us know what you think, join the discussion. We want this to be a community. It's not just our opinions when we're fantasy booking. If you disagree with us, get on there, call us out on this. If there's something you would like to see better, whatever, put it out there. That's all we ask. We are the Professors of Wrestling. You can find me on Just a Professor on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can find me at D2Baber on Twitter and Instagram.
Anytime you see us at a show, you say, hey, if you're the first person to say, hey, professors, we've got some Hey Professors merch for you.
See you later.